My name is Jill Thompson. I'm an associate partner at Education Elements, and I'm coming to you live from North Carolina today. Pass it over to Jason.
Good morning, everyone. I am feeling grateful for the opportunity to share. I think this timing is really important for this conversation today.
My name is Noah Doherty. I'm a senior design principal here at Education Elements, and I am calling in from Washington, D.C. And just really excited about this particular topic. I think there's been a lot of really exciting work we've been doing with different districts and schools around phasing students back in, and just really excited to share some of the things we've learned working with so many amazing people around the country.
So we just want to review the objectives for today. We want to learn about specific instructional models that can be used to phase in from distance learning. And then we also want you to be able to walk away with some resources that you can utilize as you're starting to plan that phased in approach. So we're going to take you through 4 models that we have been seeing as districts have been phasing in. And the first one we're going to talk about is the Wagon Train Model. So a Wagon Train Model, this is again where the teacher is teaching a lesson to the students in school, and then they are taking that lesson format and doing it after a day or two online. So for example, if I'm teaching a lesson to students on Tuesday, then my online students are going to see that lesson maybe Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how they have that set up. The pros for doing this kind of phase-in approach is that it's consistent structure and expectations for not only the teacher, but also the students and families. The cons are that there's more planning for the teacher because now the lessons can't be directly transferred to that online format. There are things that they're going to need to change up to best meet the needs of the virtual learning students as well as the in-person students.
The Wagon Train Model is going to be best if in the current state right now, teachers are already creating lessons that are complex, right? Where there are different versions, different options, different opportunities. And if you're already seeing sort of a moderate amount of flexibility and a sort of moderate amount of comfort with technology, that this is a good model for those because while it's not the most flexible model that we have, it does provide a certain amount of flexibility, especially for virtual students to be able to access after that initial live lesson.
So the next one is a HyFlex Model, and this is where in-school students, the teacher leads a lesson for students, and then the students actually get to pick if they want to attend that live lesson that the teacher is doing, or they want to wait for the video afterwards to view. And so then they can view that at any time. So this gives a lot of choice to the students, and this also helps a lot of families if they have, 3 or 4 students and they can't all live stream at one time. This also helps students, they can pick and choose when they're going to see that lesson, but still gain that lesson. And so it's a great way to provide that choice for students. And an example of this could be also where a teacher might teach some sessions in the morning and then post the videos in the afternoon. The pros again for this is choice for students. And then the cons is potentially variable in the at-home student experience because it might not be consistent. And also it will be a little bit harder for the student-teacher relationship as well.
Because of the amount of flexibility it takes to make sure that you're able to provide those opportunities for students at home, particularly for the students at home, we think this model works best if you already see teachers and school leaders creating a lot of flexible opportunities. And there's sort of, as the name suggests, HyFlex. Flexibility is probably the most important component here. Certainly access to some technology is important, and there is complexity because we want to make sure that that students are able to make sort of choices at home. But that flexibility piece is going to be the most important when we think about the HyFlex model.
So taking a deep dive into the live stream model, this is where teachers are in the classroom. They are leading the lesson for the students that are in the school and also the virtual students as well. And they're doing that in real time, live streaming that lesson. So they're seeing the students at the same time. Pros for this is a consistent structure and expectation. The cons is there's no choice for the virtual students, so it might be harder for them to join a live session depending on what is happening at home or bandwidth as well.
Technology is really important with the live stream model because you need to make sure that the teacher who is live streaming their class for virtual students has the the devices, has the training, the Wi-Fi bandwidth at school to actually make sure that that works. So this is a model that works well if you already have those things in place. And that's probably the most important consideration here. It's also important to note, as Jill was saying, the major con is that this doesn't provide a lot of flexibility for students. If that's something that is really important for lessons and classes to be successful, then this is also, maybe that might be a red flag for this model.
And our last model is really the virtual school. And this is where two schools exist simultaneously and are very independent of one another. So you have the students that are in school attending in person full time. Then you have at-home students attending virtual classes full time. And the pros of this, again, are consistency structures and expectations. The cons is more planning for the teacher, especially if they're running both of the in-school and also the virtual. We know some school districts, they have enough teachers where they can say, all right, you're going to teach virtual and you're going to teach face-to-face, but we understand that's not always the case, especially in rural schools where there's only that one fourth grade teacher. And so this is something to also think about as well.
This works well if you feel like there's a low to moderate amount of either complexity, flexibility, or technology. So if you feel like in the current state, those considerations are sort of developing, then this can be a really good model. The big thing here, again, as Jill had said, is that sort of is like the staffing and making sure that teachers are able to either be devoted to or have the time or have protected time to make sure they're able to attend to the students who are learning virtually full-time in a separate school.
Just want to let you know some virtual events that are coming up. We have a flexible learning conference on November 5th.
It's kind of going to be unconference style. It's going to be pretty fun. We're definitely trying out some new adult learning approaches. Think of it more watch party style and more collaborative.
We have a distance learning road race that is happening November 9th through the 16th. And then we have a responsive strategic planning in uncertain times happening November 5th through the 6th. We thank you for joining, and we would love for you to follow us on social media as we share a lot of ideas and resources as we are learning them. So if you want to learn in real time with us, join our Facebook group and also follow us on Twitter.